Hey there, boys, girls of YouTube world. Today, the Duff Dog and I are going to see if we can't get this 1936 Ford pick-em-up truck running for the first time in like 7-ish years. So story on this thing is the property is going to be for sale, so we got to get everything out of here. And this pickup was last run about 6, 7, 8 years ago, who knows. It's got a Flathead Ford in it, and those things absolutely love us. So let's see if we can't get this thing out of here, get her on the trailer, get her back home to the shop, and see if we can't make her breathe fire one more time. So this is a 36 Ford pickup. 35s to 37s are all pretty similar, a couple of small differences. The beds and the fenders I think are all the same. And the only really difference is the grill shell is a little bit deeper on a 36. 35 is about half as deep again. It's got a later model Flathead in it, well, a little bit newer than 36. It's got hydraulic brakes. You can see by the spark plugs that she'd been running not too long ago. Flexi hoses, my favorite. It's got some North Dakota Pioneer license plates. They're stamped, so that's how you know that it's not too new, because somewhere about that time, 6-8 years ago, they're just printed. They're not stamped anymore. I think it says Warden on there because it appears that there was a game warden symbol on here. Looks like she's got a newer minivan seat. They put some, what are these called? Dryer sheets in there to keep the critters out. Oh, it does have side glass. No rear glass. Windshield's good. It's got some newer radial tires on it, which are flat. So, got a windshield for a 53 to 55 Ford pick-em-up truck. Headers, we also love those. Looks like they're for a Ford Flathead V8 as well. Maybe they'll fit on this thing. Bridgestone sign. It's got the bird poop. It's got dings. It's got dents. But yeah, shouldn't be too bad to get out of here. And we'll go from there. Get her out in the open and take a look at her. So, if anybody ever tells you that they got a barn find in a video and it doesn't have a bunch of crap sitting on top of it, it's not a true barn find or a garage find, because especially like a pickup, they get full of all kinds of stuff on top of them. This thing had a garden hose out in it. I already grabbed that out of here. So, yeah, who sets a garden hose on top of a brand new windshield? Plastic Bridgestone sign. Wish that was an old porcelain sign. It'd be worth a little bit more. Looks like there's a bag up there with who knows what's in it. Little Honda QA50 and some pedal cars. All kinds of good stuff at this place. Oh, an extension cord. That might be handy. What else is in there? Drill bits? Cheese and rice. All kinds of extension cords. More drill bits. GB weld. A whistler. Some screw drivers. Anyway, it's hot. It's nasty. It's gross in here. We're in city limits, so we can't leave Duff running around. So let's pump up. Is it just one tire we gotta pump up? Oh, that ain't so bad. Pump up that right front. I'll put the floor jack under here, and I think we can squeeze her out. Yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Man, these little portable air compressors sure are handy. I like my Milwaukee 18 volter. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I got the back end jacked up with our aluminum jack from Harbor Freight. Talk about handy. Handiest. Pockets on a shirt. Speaking of shirts, get yours at mortske.com. Not a paid promotion by Milwaukee or Harbor Freight. Alright. Hopefully this thing slides over. We don't smash into this nice vintage snap-on toolbox. Definitely won't help all the cracks in this concrete floor. Just enough room. See how she rolls. Spear's good. that? I guess we're gonna have to use the winch on the trailer. I don't think I've ever had this winch out this far. We must be, trailer's 22 foot. Yeah. I think it's a 50-foot winch and we're using all. Good news is, this poor little ratchet strap will be the weak link. That's gonna let loose way before the winch gives up. See if we can get her moving. Should've just drove Bernie, we got it back in and hooked right onto it. Well, looks like we're clearing the pillar. Slide this back end over a little bit more. Got a new fuel tank under there. Newer anyway. It is swampy. It's like 2 weeks ago we had snow piles. I'll see if we can snake her out of here. I need a friend with thumbs or to get my wireless remote for this winch because it's running back and forth. This killing a fat guy like me. Beats winching it on my hand. On the home stretch now. And these old Fords steer nice when they steer. Wheel stops. That's what headers are for. Perfect wheel chock. Not usually a fan of straps for tying stuff down, but somebody forgot to put the chains back in the Suburban. So, use what you got. I don't really want to tow it backwards, but that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna tie the doors shut so they can't fly open. Because we've all been there. The doors flying open are not good. There's baddest. Hood's flying open. And that's the hood over the windshield. Well, if this isn't a debacle, I surely don't know what is. Trunk's flying open, that's fine. Perfect length. Couldn't do that again if I tried. We're gonna pick up all these dryer sheets and then it'll go flying out, you know, because we care about the environment. We should probably take that Bridgestone sign out of the back because that might fly out too. I know it's so terrible hanging out in here with these headers. You're not missing out much in the big city though. I'm gonna put a Bridgestone sign in here. Can you keep an eye on that for me? Oh, barn dust. I'm allergic to it. You're a good dog, Duff. All right, she's tied down, ready to go. This car makes a full stop at all railroad crossings. Well, it used to, it doesn't anymore. All right, we're all tied down, put her in gear for safety. Let's get out of here.
Almost forgot the floor job.
Oh, air compressors in the back. I'm ready for something cold and wet. It's Dasani today and some AC. Which works good in the old tow peg here. You had it rough sitting here, Duff. It's a good thing the AC works good in this thing, as much gas as it burns. All right. 4th of July weekend, everybody's dogs are barking. They're all mad about the fireworks. Duff, he could care less. He's just waiting for hunting season this October. All right, let's hit the road. All right, it is the 5th of July. You know what the worst part about the 4th of July is? The 5th. Just kidding. Yesterday's probably the first day I haven't filmed in a long time. Pretty much filming at least something every single day, but yesterday, I don't know what we did. Oh, I did go look at a diesel pickup because it's time to upgrade. I sold my late model Jeep, and so we're looking at a late model Ram. There goes a 6-liter Ford barking, pulling a boat. But anyway, I'm gonna leave for Iola this morning, and this thing's coming with us. I want it running and driving by then, so we got ourselves a deadline. It's 8:15 in the morning. I want to leave by 10. I'm not saying it's going to happen around 10, but let's get a look at this thing. Also, if you're here to watch Duff, sorry, Duff is with my parents at the lake. He's on holiday. He's on vacation. He can't come with to Iola because he just doesn't like people and whatever. I don't know if people have dogs at Iola. Anyway, we don't take Duff to shows because chaos would ensue. I know all of you want to meet Duff, but it just doesn't work that way. All right, let's look at this thing. Doesn't have a front bumper, so it'd be cool to have like some little Nerf bars sticking out here. I was always kind of thinking like a piece of flat iron and then some round bar stock, I don't know. And then maybe move the license plate to that. Never really liked how this was there, and apparently we hooked it on something coming out. It's cool, it's got these little jewels on the license plate. It's got the old stock Ford headlights. The 2-light headlamp. These are pretty cool. I think these came with 85 horse flatheads. It's got the V8 emblem and the blue oval in the center of the grill. Apparently that tire does not hold air for very long, so we might have to put a tube in that before we go, because we love fixing tires. I think it was originally this tan. I don't know the name for it. And then it was painted red at one point, and then it was black at one point. So yeah, and you can tell the black was brushed on. You can still see all the brush strokes. Pretty cool. Spare tire would have been here. These would have been a wide 5 being a 36. A 35 would have the 5-on-5.5 bolt pattern, like these wheels. These are 15s, so I think these are like a, gosh, I'm gonna get it wrong, like a 57 to 60 Ford F100 wheel. I like these wheels because you can still put a 40 Ford cap on it, like, because a 40 Ford wheel is a 16-inch wheel, but then you can run a 15-inch tire, which is, they used to be easier to find, but now with the internet, you just buy whatever. Pretty common for this little splash apron to rust out between the running board and the fender. These fenders are tough. You can see it's been galvanized, welded up here, and they've welded the running boards to them, and got some square bolts and a whole lot of Ray Charles fabric cobbling action going on there. But rear fenders, boxes, and running boards are like gold for these things, because it seems like they're always missing. Once the pickup was retired, somebody would make a trailer out of the box, or the fenders would get beat up, so they just get ripped up and thrown away. And these only fit pickups. Front fenders too, because all the big trucks have a bigger fender. But if you have those pieces, because the cab, the hood, and the grill are all the same on big trucks, and the chassis are the same on a car. So this thing is actually on a 41 pickup chassis. 35 to 40 Ford car and pickup frames are all generally the same. They'll accept the same bodies. But this has a 41 pickup chassis underneath it, so therefore it's got hydraulic brakes, the 5-on-5.5 bolt pattern. It's got a 4-speed transmission, which is kind of neat, because 41 was a 1-year only deal pickups. They dropped the 60 horse Flathead in 1940, and in 41 they put a 4-cylinder flathead in here. From my understanding, it's the same as like the 2, the 8, and the 9N Ford tractor engines. They only made it for 1 year. It was kind of a bad deal. But anyway, those 4-cylinder engines got a 4-speed transmission as well. And that's what this has got. This is an original 41 4-cylinder chassis. Somebody made a street rod out of it. And this chassis ended up underneath this pickup because this pickup had a rusty chassis. And it didn't have juice brakes and all that good stuff. So continuing on here, a little rust in the corner of the door and the cab corner again. Pretty common. Back of the cabs always get beat up from stuff in the box. The stake pockets were missing and have been replaced. Some square tubing here. And then it looks like some rectangular tubing was slid in the back of the box. Tailgates are always beat up. I think they were all blank until 37. Well, 35s and 6s were blank, I believe. And then I think 37 has a V8 here. And then some of them have Ford script. But yeah, these are pretty plain Jane. It's missing the rear bumper. The truck cabs do have, I think, a hole for the fuel filler neck up there because the fuel tanks were under the seat. And they're in the back of the chassis on the pickups. Again, fenders are pretty rough. Passenger side's always more rough, I presume, because people can't see over there. And obviously you can see 3 feet away right here, hopefully. Missing a door handle. All the dirt sat on the bed floor, and then it would rot out the sides of the box here. This splash apron's pretty good. A little rust in the rocker. Door got overextended, and I'm guessing kissed right there one time pretty dang hard. But the nice part is it's not hiding anything. It's all right out there to see. Fenders are always cracked up because the roads were not what they are now. I mean, a smooth gravel road was, you know, that was a nice highway back then, dang near. I don't know when paved roads kind of became common in the Dakotas. It's got the 41 Ford truck steering wheel, which I think is the same as like a 40 Ford Deluxe. Stock gauges, missing one of the gauges. Chrysler minivan seat. Got a newer plywood floor. These are some old truck box sides that were cut down to make a pickup bed floor. Yeah. Oh, it does have the Ford script. I'm an idiot. They just hit it with that sign. Maybe 37s had the V8 and it was just script on 35 and 36, and then 32 to 34 was plain. I really don't remember. I feel like I knew everything at one point, but I'm slowly losing it. Roofs are always beat up because people jumped on them to see over the hill, or I don't know, tying down their loads or what, but it ain't terrible, but it ain't perfect. Plenty of bird poop up there. Pretty good whammy there. I guess this thing sat inside for many, many years in another barn, and the barn came down, and that's how it came up for sale the last time. Like I said, I don't know, I think this is like a 46, 48 Ford. 59 AB. Oh, the lovely yellow line on the flexi hose. It's got a Ford 94 on it. Oh, it's got the cool solenoid on the firewall with the push button so you can crank her over from up here. Still gas in the sediment bowl. I got these nice braided plug wires. I think they call these like a Rajo style end with a thumb screw cap. Nothing but the finest. Before we get her off the trailer, let's look at the bottom side. So looks like we got some new shackles and bushings, I presume. This is the main eye. It's got a reverse spring, which reversed eye on the spring, which usually the main spring should go over the top here. That's a good way to get these things nice and low. Looks like a few leaves have been removed to get her down there. She is nice and low, just the way we like them. I wonder what's going on in the back here. Again, should have a transverse leaf spring and control or bolt on. I don't know. Oh yeah, 35.6 would have the bolt on trailing arms. These don't. I can't tell what's going on back here, but it's definitely lower than original, it seems like. All right, let's pump up a tire and get her rolled off. Got the door open so in case she shoots off, we don't miss nothing. Look at all these packages we got packaged, ready to go. We got all kinds of orders on the 4th, so thanks for your patronage, everybody. Get your merchandise at mortske.com. We're out of koozies right now. We got more on order. You guys snatched them up real good. This job is getting real tiring. Just out bobbing around this morning. Hey, the van is sold. Somebody needs a 51 or 2 Ford truck. 3,700 bucks. Selling for somebody else. Still got the Mercury though. I just took it off the street because I was sick of looking at it. Hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com if you see some junk that we need. Some junk that we got that you need. No brakes. Clutch works. Kind of. Why does this thing roll so terribly? Found the other license plate and a few more bounce sheets underneath the seat. Put my sunglasses on. I'm talking to the concrete guy because we're gonna hopefully move some granaries in out back. I need more storage for stuff like this. Can't sit outside. Well, look at this. Hurley Superior oscillator. Must be off of like a washing machine. But it looks like that is the battery tray cover. Drops straight into that plywood. Looks like the transmission cover is held on by hopes and dreams. A whole lot of red and white wire for something to be used in the future. So let's throw a battery in there. See what happens. Looks like Nick is this week's battery sponsor. If you want to become a battery sponsor, go to mortske.com. All the information is there. Crepes. Mojo is coming to work on a holiday. Is the 5th a holiday? I think it should be. Nice new battery cables. What a deal. Well, newish. Looks like, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Power wire isn't as good as the ground. So yeah, you got your key, which is basically just the lock for the column here. Usually you don't touch that. That's your ignition, off and on. Starter button. Throttle and choke. What do you got there? Taking apart refrigerators and making vacuum pumps? What a guy, working over the holiday. Glove box. Ooh. Registration even? Oh, chain to hold her up. He's had, what's that, tin? Glove box trays instead of cardboard, unless somebody made that. If somebody made it, they did a dang nice job. Guessing they dropped their registration in there. Looks like they painted the door panels red even at one point. Otherwise, interior is pretty sparse. Usually these are all rotted out because mice get behind these access panels, which this one's missing the cover, and they make mouse houses in there and rot these out. This one's way good. Crank out window. Well, let's see if it bumps over. That's no bueno. Wonder what's going on there. Maybe you gotta have the key on. Not the key, the switch. No go. What are you gonna do? You're gonna work on a refrigerator recovery machine?
You're going to do that. Yeah.
All right. You know what you're doing?
No.
That's the first straight answer I've ever got from you. At least he's honest. Well, it ain't turning over here. Cables look good. I don't know. We're gonna have to do a little further investigation. It's got all kinds of oil. It's got newer water pumps on it, so hopefully those don't leak. Looks like it's got a 12-volt coil. That must be hooked to the switch. And that one goes to your distributor. Looks like it's got a crab style distributor, like 4648, but it's got the earlier 37 to 41 adapter in there for a 3-bolt scuba diver helmet style. Generator is not hooked up. It's a 6-volter, I'm guessing, because it's got a 6 on there. Neat part about these old Flatheads, they got a bolt-on fan that bolts right on the generator. Oh, Henry. This is your belt tensioner, your generator, and your fan all in one shot. It's even got the notches for a hand crank if you really wanted to. I've never cranked a Flathead over by hand. Coolant? Yeah, right. And she looks pretty dry. All right, let's dig into the electrical contact issue. Can't imagine we got a bad starter. That blue wire goes up to the ignition switch, which goes to the coil. And this black wire goes to the solenoid. Which grounds through the body. I think you ground the solenoid to start these things instead of power. All right, hooking up the battery tester. We'll hook it up to the cables so that way we're testing our connections. Sure enough, it says low. Well, we're gonna have to get a new battery sponsor. Sorry, Nick. I don't know why your battery's dead, but it is. Not Nick's fault. Definitely my fault. Probably had it in something else. Looks like R-A-R-E-O-O-H-B-B-E-E. R-O-B is our replacement battery sponsor this week. They definitely should have checked to see if this battery had voltage before dropping it in, but if we were smart, we wouldn't be doing this anyway, so nobody accuse me of that. How about now? Now we're talking. We should probably put that battery on the charger. Glad we didn't have to tear that starter apart. It looks like it's already missing the cover for the windings and such. So yeah, that's no good. Flathead's manifolds are typically cracked. That one looks good. Little petcock on the water pump here. This will tell us it's got any. Oh yeah, she does have some coolant in it. That's the good green stuff too. So hopefully it didn't freeze up while it was sitting. And look, the other side of the block's got one too. How neat is that?
How neat is that?
All right, let's bump this thing over. Oh, she's pulling fuel even. Speaking of pulling fuel, we should probably drain that minimum of 7-year-old fuel out of there. So let's do that quick. So Ford had a fancy little rubber hose with brass ends that went between the fuel pump and the fuel line here so it could vibrate. And it looks like somebody is, instead of using a clamp, has used wire here. I guess that'll be fine. Looks like some 1/4-inch hose. Hey, get yourself a screwed by Mortske repair magnetic screwdriver at mortske.com. These things are so handy until you drop them. So what we're doing here is we're just gonna take the fuel line off and we're gonna pull all the old fuel out of the tank so that we're not putting any nasty fuel and sticking up the valves in these Flatheads like they like to do so much. And then gumming up that 94 carburetor either, because you don't want to do that either. Ooh, we're gonna definitely put a new filter on this too. I'm guessing some new rubber hose is on order as well, so I'm just gonna cut these pieces of wire. Using wire for hose clamps, I mean, you gotta be real effective to make that work. I'm not good enough to do that. I can't get tight enough spiral. It's like throwing a football. You know, tight spirals. That's what you need. Okay. Now look at how tiny that fuel line is. Feeding all 85 or 100 horse of this thing. Oh, it stinks. Something fierce too. Look at that filter. All that black sludge on the bottom. Blech. All right, took our old inline fuel filter off this plugged up full of crap. Now we're gonna put a little 1/4-inch or some type of fuel line on here. And we're gonna hook an electric pump, try to pump all the old gas out because this stuff is She real nasty.
Oh, that's nasty.
There we go. Spin that nut down there. Work smarter, not harder, kids. Slide that guy over it. Hook it up to our clickety-clack. The hepatitis O2A. Everybody's heard of B and C, but nobody's ever heard of hepatitis O2A until now. And then put this into our jug. See what happens. Better hook it up to some power first via the 12 volt Milwaukee adapter. These things are handy. Oh, that stuff stinks. And it's all over. Let's slip a rubber on the end of our pump. There. Blech. All right, I'm gonna let it pump. Go do something. Pump away. I really hope it ain't full. Well, that's pumping away. Look at this handy dandy barb adapter that we got. Should be a direct replacement. Somebody bit onto it with the pliers too many times, and it's 3/8. I'd like 5/16, but it's way better than that little tiny thing. You know, that's restricting all the HPs to our flathead, choking her down. Still going. Can you imagine owning a car with one of those, just listening to that thing run all the time? Hating your life. So these are an interference fit. I don't know what these are called. Somebody's gonna yell at me. So we don't need any pipe dope on that. Line wrenches. They're your friend. Get a set if you don't have them. Stop ruining nice brass fittings. Some nice new Gates fuel hose here. Which side's outlet? To carb. Go and get us a few hose clamps. We better do a bucket swapperoo here. You don't want to get them too full. I think we're getting to the end finally. Oh, it stinks so bad. Dang it, we should have done this yesterday. We'd had some gas to make all the fireworks at home.
Match in the gas tank. Boom, boom.
Now we just gotta hook our fuel line up. Cheese and rice, come on, hose clamp. Work with me now. I think we'll pull the sediment bowl while we got everything up here. Get that old gas out of there. Hopefully ruin the seal so that that leaks. So these sediment bowls are basically just an early version of a fuel filter. I think this is all they had for fuel filters. Usually a cork gasket on the top side. But nice part about these is you can see what's going on. And there's not a bunch of rust or anything in there, just some bad old gas. So I'm gonna get rid of that and clean her up a bit. There's some hard crusties down there in the bottom. Let's see if we can't scratch them. Oh yeah, the old Mortske screwdriver takes care of it. Oh, we need to do the Mortske flick with one of these screwdrivers. Don't drop these things. They're glass. Bad things happen. Yeah, slide our nice new clean, freshly cleaned cinnamon bowl back in place. Get these nice thumb screw on them so you don't even need any tools. Like, how long has it been since they made a vehicle where you could change the fuel filter, use that term loosely, without needing even a pliers? All these new cars don't even have fuel filters, I've heard. Oh, I was gonna fill that up with fuel first. Dang it. Well, I gotta go get a fuel jug and we're gonna fill up the tank. Let's take our oil bath air cleaner off. This thing's in surprisingly good shape. Paint's even actually pretty respectable. And we'll drizzle some gas down the carb. The throttle rod is not hooked up, but the choke appears to be. Does the foot feet work? Oh yeah. Carburetor's loose. Mojo's gonna fire up Bernie and we're gonna get the not for sale any longer sin bin, stavin cabin, poon saloon, whatever you call it, van off the street, because it's kind of an eyesore. I mean, I'd love to have a boogie van in my collection, but I think I'd rather have a cool old tow truck. All right, see how Mojo is with the old tow truck. I don't know that I've ever seen him tow anything with it. He's probably better at it than me, which isn't saying much. All right, don't let it fall off. I've actually getting kind of good at backing that thing up. I didn't know you could back up something on the back of a tow truck, but you sure can. The more you know. Oh, first time Mojo tows anything with it, what's he do? Backs up. Yeah, he's way more of a professional than me. He probably owned one of these back in the day. Like a boss. Oh, that tow truck is so handy. It's way too nice for us. So is the van, I guess, but whatever. Can't keep them all. Won't be sad to see those silly Keystone Classic wheels go away. God, those are the ugliest wheels. Those are uglier than Craigers. You guys know how much I despise Craigers? I'm really glad they don't remake Keystone Classics. So terrible. Speaking of so terrible, just that little bit of gas we spilled over there that's now evaporated smells so terrible. All right, let's go get a fuel jug. Let's see how much fuel we can spill here. I don't really care for the angle of the fuel spout. Not exactly ideal on this thing. Could be worse. Tech tip when you get an old car running, don't fill it plumb full if you're not planning on driving it, because then the next guy's got to drain a full tank of nasty old fuel out. It probably ruins the fuel tank. Comment down below, is it better to leave a tank empty or plumb full? I do believe plumb full is better. Empty, it gets humidification in there and it causes the oxidization and the rust, and then you got hot garbage. If it's just, at least if it's just full of sludgy old gas, you can usually clean that out. I don't know, I've seen both ways. But when they're empty, I've seen a few that are spotless, but not very many. Believe it or not, it's pretty humid up here, and humidity gets to things like fuel tanks. I don't even know what this fuel tank is in this thing. Maybe 12 gallons, probably only 10. We know it's gonna hold 6. If it don't, we're gonna find out shortly here. I don't even want to say it. Okay, now it's almost all right. Look at how good of I didn't want to jinx it, but look at how good a job of pouring fuel we did. I don't know that we spilled a drop. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back for that one. Fuel cap back on before we lose it. And we're about ready to check for some spark. So, turn our ignition switch on. And how can we do this without electrocuting ourselves? Mojo's out running the tow truck yet, so can't get him to try it. If this thing would just stay there, hopefully it arcs across. Raja, is that what these ends are called? That sounds right. These are the coolest plug wires ever. All right, let's bump her over, see if we got some spark. Get in there real nice and close, see if we gotta do the Mortske flick. Not looking good. I wonder if I can hold her with the needle nose a little bit closer. Oh, I'm gonna get shocked in there. Hey! It's not crazy wild spark, but it's spark. And that's good enough for the girls we go with. We don't have any merch for that good enough for the girls we go with logo, but stay tuned. There will be some shortly. Oh man, we're getting close. Dribble a little hot sauce on that old Ford 94 carburetor. This thing's probably gonna run. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Flatheads. They just want to run. Ha! Yeah, right. Okay, Mojo's got the hot sauce bottle. He had to move the ramp truck, so we're just kicking it old school with a gas can here. Just gonna slobber it like idiots. And then set it up here so it falls down. Choke maybe? Oh, that's throttle. This is choke. Runs pretty good. Till it don't. I'll choke her just a little bit. Hopefully we can get it to pull fuel up into the everything up here. Slingshot engaged.
Slingshot engaged.
All right, we're gonna need to two-hand this, I think. That is not a very good pour. That's way too much fuel. Now we'll see if we can get some fuel to pull up with the hot sauce bottle.
It's just flying to quit.
How do we get fuel up to that cinnamon roll?
Well, we're going to.
What?
You're going to blow air it. In it.
We're not getting any fuel up to the filter of the sediment bowl. So we're gonna blow a little air up there. Moved it. Need a better rag.
Yeah, we'll get a little fuel in the bowl now. Oh, salmon bowl was leaking.
Sediment bowl's leaking?
Yeah.
Oh. What the heck? Gasket bad? Or is it not tight? Well, let's start it up, see what happens. No, I think we're getting too much fuel. Well, we'll see. Oh, our squirters ain't working.
Yeah, give her a shot.
Again? Go over there and do it. You don't have to reach over that fan. getting any fuel coming out of the carburetor. Well, I know we're not, so I wonder if the floaty's stuck. Give her a tap, needle and seat, see what happens. Definitely not getting any accelerator pump. Let's slap a different carburetor on it. Maybe we'll open this one up, see what it looks like. Oh, look at the Mopar Madman showing up in greenie. Look at how shiny that is. Bet he parks right in front of the doorway, right in the way. God, I hate when people do that. He cleaned her up a bit since we put them wheels on there.
Right.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll unhook the choke and the throttle and the return spring. Whew. And then yeah, you should just need a 1/2 inch for those. And you got a line wrench with you? Mojo is the reason that half of these things are rounded off in the world.
He took all the line wrenches out of my toolbox.
Bullshit. Tech tip of the day, smear some grease all over your gaskets that you want to reuse. And that way, you can reuse them. Learned that from Randy Griddle down at Lake City Rod and Custom in Watertown back in the day. And old Thunderhead 289, he's a big fan of that as well. Look at that, this one's got the knob for the throttle linkage in the cab. What a deal. This carburetor rebuilt by T-Man Carb Services about 12 years ago, and we've been using it on everything since. Pick up all our tools here so they don't go down into the fan, huh? Them all yours?
Yeah.
Oh,
Most of
that line wrench is mine. I know you don't own one of them.
Hey, no need for one.
Yeah.
When you got the other one.
Well, let's see what happens now. We're not getting any fuel for the carburetor? Fill the bowl up, I guess, see what happens. Wonder if it ain't pumping any fuel. Let's check, see if we're getting any fuel coming out. Can't imagine that diaphragm on that fuel pump would have dried up after sitting around for 10 years. Well, son of a biscuit. No fuel pump. You got any of them laying around, Mojo?
Not that I know of. Huh?
Thought we were gonna get a second no of the day already.
Well, okay. Not all these new cars came out with computers.
No. God, what's this car? 88 years old? Almost old as you. Are you sweating?
it.
No fuel pump, son of a biscuit.
Hooked trailers, hooked up trailers, check tires, check lights. Holy crap.
You check tires?
Yeah.
Kicked them with the Jerusalem cruisers?
Thumb test.
Thumb test.
Yep. Yep. 35. Yep. 34. We're good.
There's thumb pressure there.
Huh? Yep. It's not fun when you go check duals and you put your thumb and it goes. Now we got a problem.
What do they call that?
Pre-trip.
The pre-trip. Trucker things.
Yep. Fuel pump's not working or what? Change the diaphragm.
Yeah.
Get it over with.
This is running to the early Ford parts store in town.
Well, you're kind of the main early Ford's parts guy.
Yeah,
here,
exactly.
So people come to you for parts.
Haul it out.
Huh?
Load it up and haul it out.
Yeah. You get what you pay for at Mortske Repair.
Well, we may not have the right fuel pump, but we can fix a tire, huh? What a way to start the week. Oh, did you ruin that thing by tinting the windows? Just the back.
And it's a horrible job. Go look at it. Make fun of me. Go ahead.
Oh, you did it yourself?
Oh, I did it myself.
Oh, I remember those days.
Yeah. It worked good for like a month and then it started peeling and now it's full of wrinkles and yeah.
Mojo swapped in the old hepatitis 2A, and if we hook this to there, it should only come on with ignition power, which probably is on right now because nobody remembered to turn that off. Or did they? Nope, it's definitely on. Why isn't that pump running then? Son of a biscuit. Maybe we need a better ground. Let's just ground it to this hose clamp. Just kidding. Terrible idea. That carburetor screw is the best ground we got.
What about that stud right above your solenoid? That goes right on the firewall.
That's on the body.
Clearly your way's working.
Well, what the hey? Anyway, that's gonna have to work. Oh, and we got a leak. Big leak. Yeah, the old suck of the cork gasket.
Ever since I started sucking cork, I'm the most popular girl in school.
But we're still not pushing fuel out to the carburetor. Let's see if we can get fuel through the fuel pump at least before we start messing with gaskets. You know, if we could take that, we could just bypass all that and go right to the carburetor. Yeah. That stinks. All right, on to plan R. Let's just shoot all this fuel all over the solenoid. Yeah, it'll be fine.
That's okay. Things are gonna be okay.
Everything is fine.
I'm in danger.
You don't have to pay for your shop if it burns to the ground. That's what you're thinking. Oh boy.
It's a bad spot for a spark. All right, now let's check for leaks. Perfect. I just pimped your ride.
You've officially been pimp daddy.
Sweet!
Sweet!
I need a TV screen and a swimming pool and a flamingo in the back.
Right.
And it's got to have 27-inch wheels
And a miniature golf course.
and a miniature golf course
With
with a slide and a swing
a windmill.
and a windmill. Wow.
God, you can't beat the sound of a flathead. Go for a ride?
Sure. Brakes? No brakes?
Yeah, right.
That's what I figured.
You're Duff for a day. Do this. Non-synchronized. overheat because it doesn't have a temp gauge.
Oh, perfect. That's the way my Pontiac is too.
You never worry about it overheating when you don't have a gauge to look at.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot better at an idle.
Well,
I should have you drive a big truck driver.
yeah, there you go.
You know how to shift these square gears.
Yeah, I don't need a clutch. Clutches are for losers.
We can do donuts.
Yeah, I think so.
What's your door latch?
I'm not holding up here. I'm not leaning on the door.
It sure makes a lot of noise for the little bit of horsepower it makes. You got clutches slipping. Well, that's a lot of coolant coming out the top of the radiator.
Yeah, it is.
Probably need a gasket on that radiator cap, huh?
Well, it's only when you hit like 5,000 RPM, so
5,000.
we're fine.
Well, yeah, she's tearing up a little gravel. Well, it needs brakes.
Yeah.
What's Mojo coming to rescue us in the side-by-side? I don't trust them idiots.
Yeah. Well, rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, he's seen some things.
yeah. I've never actually seen one of those at work either. I've had a
Yeah. Well, I don't know that these things really even have a gasket on them. They must have had a gasket of some sort. At least we know there's coolant in it. All right. Well, the Mopar Madman and I are going to head to Iola, and we're going to take this thing with. And we were supposed to leave 59 minutes ago. So let's get her on.
That's almost on time.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Now we just need to load up onto the trailer and get everything else that we need. Did you bring your sombrero?
No, I didn't.
All you brought was your Jerusalem Cruisers?
Yep. But I bought real shit.
That's why you have all those pockets for all the cash, though.
Yeah, there's hundreds in all of them.
Hundreds. Jiggling change. Oh, just in case.
Just in case we get a bad part of town.
Good, this was
I'll
Army knife.
protect you.
All right, you gonna keep an eye on things?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, here we are. Undisclosed location in some strange alley with a strange individual. We're gonna dump this thing off, and he's gonna work his magic on it, and it's gonna be ready for the Riddler Award, right? Once you're done.
Oh, at least.
America's most beautiful roadster. Is there a crappy truck class we could probably win? That's what we're going for.
By itself, or
Apparently. Pull the pins, I'm assuming?
Dukes of Hazzard style.
Oh, you didn't pull the pins?
Why are we pulling pins?
No, you might have to come back forward.
Oh yeah, this one's pulled.
Is it?
Is the other side done?
I should have.
Okay, maybe it's done.
I've had this trailer for 14 years. I've yet to back off it without pulling the
Okay,
pins.
they're pulled. They're pulled. It's funny it's not tipping yet.
I really don't want to bang at the chin of that grill.
Go fast.
Go fast.
Speed is
All right. I'd tell you to go check this guy out on YouTube, but I don't think he posts videos anymore, it sounds like.
Instagram.
Instagram! Chevaholic. We're gonna swap a banger in this thing with a couple carburetors on it. I think I should just trade you straight up. You got a lot better utilization of space. All right, now we're gonna discuss the dirty work. All right, we are back in the shop. We left off. We're at Chevaholic's place. Just met the guy, kind of knew him through Instagram, so it's kind of an impromptu. Ugly me pointing the camera at him. Let's close the door so that's not blowing in the wind, because that's what it does. We're back in North Dakota. I think it was Wednesday night. About 9:30, 10 o'clock, we got to the old Chevaholic's place. I dropped that 36 Ford pickup off there because, as you can see, I'm real good at finishing projects. So we dropped off with him. We're gonna have him convert it to 12 volts, so voltage regulator, wire up all the lights, just do the finishing touches. It needs exhaust, check over the suspension, get the brakes working, left him with a master cylinder. Fuel pump all of a sudden decided not to work, as you saw in the video. I'd like to keep it mechanical. He said he's had a lot of problem with quality of diaphragms, so we might go electric, but anyway, he's gonna do a bunch of finishing touches on that. When we left his place, he's gonna get to that thing, hopefully, hopefully be done this fall sometime, maybe winter, but he does really great work. He's got some really cool stuff. Maybe when we go pick it up, if you guys want, we could do a tour of his place. He's got a Model A with a flat or a banger and dual carbs. I think it's a Model B engine. If you don't know a ton about those, they're a Model A engine, but with a fuel pump and a balanced crankshaft, and it's got some carbs on, extra carb or two on it. And it's lowered and it's chopped. And then he's got a Model A with a small block Chevy and an NV 3500 5-speed, really cool, open wheel. And then he's also got like a 53 Ford Chevy car with a subframe and a small block. He's got a 64 Olds, I believe, with a 6.2 diesel in it. That thing is, it's the coolest thing he's got. And not because you wouldn't think a 6.2 would be cool. This car's really cool. He gets 30 miles a gallon with it. It's rough around the edges. Everything he's got is on a super budget. He's got like a 53 Ford Chevy, like I said, car. He's got a belly tanker with a flathead in it and multiple carbs. You saw that thing. We'll talk about that later. He's also got, he's got a lot of cool stuff. I can't talk about it. Guy does great work. He does it in the evenings, does it in his spare time. I don't have any spare time. I've had that pickup. Believe it or not, that was my pickup. I built that pickup, man, 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. It's hot in here. And I got it to where it's at now, and it's sat for 10 years. And I just need somebody to push it over the hump so that I can enjoy it. It's on a 41 Ford pickup chassis. I bought it. Somebody was street rodding that. I drug that pickup out of a barn. I went, and part of the deal was I had to take the 41 pickup off the chassis. It was a run and drive flathead. I dropped that on there. I lowered it, got it running, and then it just sat in my garage. So anyway, I'm getting rid of that property, so it had to get out of the garage. So I thought, instead, it's got to get out of the garage anyway, so I might as well take it somewhere where something's going to get done, because things just come in here to die. Things go in that garage to die. Yada, yada, yada. Next morning, we went to Iola. Thursday morning, we went to Iola Swap Meet, Iola, Wisconsin. I definitely recommend checking it out. Bring your good shoes, bring a pocket full of cash. Be ready to do a lot of walking and have a good time. So that being said, we just got back from Iola late last night. We couldn't find anything to buy. The car market is absolutely insane. We were this close to buying a 77 Trans Am, but we slept on it and things just weren't gonna work out. We wanted to get on the road. And so we didn't buy a car, came back empty. How crazy is that? The old tow pig did amazing. The Suburban is great. Get yourself a tow pig like that that's all depreciated out. It gets terrible gas mileage. Rides great, works flawlessly. You can put all your stuff inside and lock it up and listen to it rattle the whole way home. So what did we listen to rattle on the way home? We stayed in Stevens Point because Iola's at like 1,500, 1,200 people, so there's no hotels there. We went to Festival Foods, and we got some lakeside vacation ale. I enjoy that stuff. My dad likes Point Special. I enjoy that as well, but picked that up for my dad, so I'm gonna take that down to him. My mother and father have been watching Duff all week. I'm sure Duff's been having a blast. Obviously, we can't take him with on stuff like that. We're trying to figure out how we can vend to sell some merch, get your merch at mortske.com maybe next year, and then set up in a swap spot so we don't have to carry our stuff as far, and plus you guys can meet me. Shout out to all you guys who chased me down and said hi. I really appreciate it. I'm glad I got to shake your hands. Pretty much everybody who said hi got a decal. A few people got pictures. And yeah, I just want to give you guys the opportunity to say hi and be able to sell some stuff, some merch, and sell some parts that I'm probably not using and pass them on to somebody who's gonna, you know, finish a project. And yeah, I know it's a great time. I would highly recommend checking it out. I'd love to go to Hershey or Carlisle or Pate one of these years, Pomona. But we didn't get to, haven't yet. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Let's show you what we got here. So I never got anything I was looking, well, these are running boards for the F1. I got these from Dennis Carpenter. I pretty much paid full retail. There's a little blem there. One thing I will say about the swap meet is get there early, but some people, I think they open the gates at 7 now, it used to be 8. But some people don't have their stuff unpacked and ready to sell, and the mosquitoes are terrible here. And so we went to the Dennis Carpenter booth at 4 o'clock, and they were wrapping everything up with a tarp. If we would have got there 90 seconds later, I wouldn't have got these running boards. So people shut down early. So, I mean, don't get there and dilly-dally around. Put some miles on, make it happen. Be ready to walk, get your exercise in, because there is a ton to see. And some people don't start until 9, and some people shut down at 4 o'clock. Some people start at the crack of 7, and some people are there till 9 p.m. So it's hit or miss. Yeah. Anyway, full retail, but we got some nice new running boards. They were expensive, but I need them for the 49 pickup because we're going to work on that one of these days. This thing, we just about got all the bugs worked out. They're never finished. That's what I'm going to take to go get Duff. I got to take my dad some fish. Got to take him a beer. Got to take him a couple things that we got for him and Iola. As soon as we walked through the gate, I saw this, you know, tranny with this hump sticking up. I was like, that's a LaSalle. I'm like, oh, but it's got the short tail shaft. So it's got a 50 Olds tail shaft on it. It's machined for a 55 Chevy rear seal. Came out of a 1940 Olds hot rod. The guy unfortunately lost his legs, so he's converted it to an automatic. And he's from Minnesota. He's got some more pieces, the bell housing, and then this bearing retainer. I think they call it the hourglass. So he's got all the stuff we need. As you know, we already have a LaSalle. So we got 2 of them now, but this one's got the nice short output shaft. And it's got some of the pieces that we were missing for the other one. So out of the 2, we should be able to make one. You can see it's got this old modified hot rod shifter. I paid pretty good money for that, but this is kind of a that's a 1 year only LaSalle transmission with a 1 year only tail housing from different years, from different cars, and plus it's already had the machine work done to it. So once in a lifetime find. This guy also had an Olds rocket. He didn't want to sell the valve cover separate. Had a million people ask, but anyway, he had a basically complete, I think it's a 303 board, 3/16 over, solid lifters, adjustable aftermarket rockers. I can't remember the name. I got to call him and get the rest of the engine because we weren't able to get it loaded up. But we did get the heads, the lifters, the push rods, all that, manifold, starter, of course, because we always have problems with those. But this should be a pretty good hot rod, old vintage engine. 4-barrel intake, Rochester 4-jet. We got to do a bunch of cleaning up, re-gasket it. We'll check the bearings and everything. Got to go get it at his place, and hopefully he's got some other cool stuff because he's, you know, getting up there in age and realizing I'm not going to finish all these projects. He also had I believe another 303 or 324 with the hydromatic behind it. He was keeping the hydromatic, but he was selling the engine. Somebody else bought that one because he was at a very fair price. Had $300 on that engine. I probably should have bought that one as well, so that I, again, could make one out of the 2, kind of like the transmission. Picked these up for like $10. Door panels for the Bronco. Didn't really need them because I made my own, but for $10, we could put some OEM ones on there. There was a fair amount of early Bronco parts. Absolute butt ton of early 67 to 69 Camaro parts and like 64 to 67 Mustang parts. A ton of them. That's what we saw. We saw a ton of G-body El Caminos, unfortunately. No offense if you have one, but not mine. The Mopar Madman rode with me. He didn't spend near as much money as me. I actually had to dip into his funds to get these running boards. I had a great time. Take somebody with you so you got somebody to talk to, somebody to help carry things, somebody to talk you out of buying things like Trans Ams. He was actually going to buy it. We both wanted it. We both talked each other out of it. Anyway, so yeah, pretty excited about that. Hot rod engine and transmission almost tipped over. The floor jack. We got a bunch of stuff to unpack that got shipped here during this week. We got some new merch that showed up. That's coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned for that. Bring a cooler, bring lots of water, bring adult beverages, bring sandwiches, buy some cheese when you're in Wisconsin. My dad lives on the lake. He's into quirky things. He's into collecting brass boat props. There was a huge one there, big one. I think it was 2 foot in diameter. And it was like, I got him down to $250, but that was too much. So I got him this boat prop, or plane prop. I've always wanted one. We found this one. It's not a big cool wood one, but it was only 35 bucks. And the gentleman was a viewer, so he got a sticker. Nice guy to talk to. And he also had this boat steering wheel. Like I said, Dad lives at the lake. He's into boat stuff. Apparently now he's gonna be into airplane stuff. My mom loves turtles. Anything turtle related. So I think I've bought a turtle shell the last few years. I don't know that she'll be excited about the skull with the top hat and the roses on it, but it is what it is. 10 bucks, you know. Gotta get Mom a souvenir. Yankum ropes. They sent Duff this care package and maybe a package for me. Hopefully we can find somebody stuck or get stuck and utilize those. Shout out to everybody who said get a hold of Yankum ropes. They got a pretty cool product, but that'll be coming up. Oh, that's not it. We got a lot of stuff. I am tired. I did a lot of walking. We got here late last night. Mopar Madman had it greenie here. You guys saw that in a video on the second channel. I think it's like a 73 to 77 round headlight Ford dent side. He made it about 20 miles down the road and his carburetor was just dumping fuel. We went there, tried to fix it on the road. Some people tried to stop and help us. Mind you, this is 11:30 at night. Couldn't get it going, so he rode back with me. I gotta go pick that thing up, bring it back here, get it off the road. Maybe we'll fix it. Maybe we'll put it on a video. Maybe you'll see it on this video. I don't know where it's going, but we're busy. We've got a million things to do. Another viewer of the channel had this, I believe it's a 34.5 Diamond T. Really nice grill. He had a really affordable price on it. He beat himself up on price, and so of course he couldn't take it. The thing was heavy, cut your hand. His girlfriend, wife, significant other said, I'll carry it back for you even. And I was like, you're kidding me. She was like all of 110 pounds, but I'm like, no, I'll carry it back. So be prepared to carry things. They do have, I think it's like Boy Scouts. They have these big two-wheel carts there. For 10 bucks, they will deliver your carts or your parts to a gate or the parking lot. If you tip them and you're real nice. I believe Jack was his name, super nice kid. We gave him like 30 bucks and he carried it all the way to the Suburban for us, those heads and that transmission and everything. So utilize those guys. It goes to a good cause. It saves your back. And like I said, it goes to a good cause. And if you buy something heavy, find those the Boy Scouts with carts. We got a fresh batch of scrapers in. We got some tubes because we're gonna have, this is a test sample. Or maybe gonna have some banners coming up here, so stay tuned for those on the site. They're not gonna be up live just yet. We got a little work to do to see if we can actually ship them and how much shipping is gonna cost. Hopefully we can keep it affordable for you because I think those will be cool. What else am I missing? I don't know. But anyway, we got to find a home for that stuff. We got to go to, I think it's Longville, Minnesota, and pick up the rest of the stuff from that gentleman. I got to go pick up Mopar Madman's pickup. I got to go pick up my dog. Got a lot of picking up to do. We coasted in on fumes on the old 8.1, imagine that. So I got to go back to town, fuel that up, and then go get the Mopar Madman's pickup. We may have consumed a couple adult beverages last night while I was unpacking my mail. And, before we left, we hit the swap meet really hard. We met up with Mrs. Wes and Watch Wes Work. Go check out his channel. Went to a fine little establishment called the Elbow Room. 2 nights in a row. We were there last year. It is a great little bar, and when I mean little, it is tight, but great people watching. We went and ate at Goose. I ate there twice last year, and we ate there once this year. A great place to eat in downtown Stevens Point. The Elbow Room is also in Stevens Point. Where else did we go? I'm not gonna tell you where we stayed. There's plenty of hotels. I don't need any stalkers. It's funny telling the stories about people who chased us down. You people know who you were. It's great. The lady who ran after me is like, "Are you on YouTube? My husband said you were, but he was too afraid to say hi." And then they saw us later, like, "Don't mean to be creeps, but can we take a picture?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." You know, I love meeting new people. I love getting stories. The Mopar Madman even jumped in the picture. One gentleman even let us ruin his Puddin's Fab Shop shirt with me signing it. I need to bring a marker with so I can sign things. But we'll have markers next year, and hopefully we'll have a booth, and we'll have some merch for you folks to pick up. If you want to meet us, say hi. What else? Oh, Sunday, the Shovelholic, he puts on the showdown at Sanford Field, right in the tiny little town of Hillsboro, Wisconsin. We went to that on Sunday. It's a lot of 4-cylinder flatheads, 6-cylinder flatheads, V8 flatheads, drag cars. It's like, I think it's $100 to enter. It's like 3 losses in your, I don't know how it all works, but it's some vintage old-timey drag racing. So that was a lot of fun. They did have some later cars, a 61 Chevy with a nasty small block, a 63 Chevy two-door post with a nasty small block, some like a 56 Chevy wagon, gasser, straight axle, Henry J, legit dragsters, open wheel stuff, like a 58 Corvette, straight axle. Really cool stuff, really cool event to see. It's free to get in and spectate. I think if you want to pay 35 or 100 bucks or whatever it is, you can put on a helmet if you've got one, or they will borrow you one and let you run down the track later in the day. So we need to build something and go to that. So we have the swap meet really hard Thursday, Friday. Friday it kind of trickled down. We thought we'd seen it all. A lot of people bring the same stuff back as I've seen the last 4 years, which is kind of unfortunate, but I get it. I kept asking them, like, where do you find all this stuff? And they do the same as me. They go to other swap meets, or they go to estate sales, or they just part stuff out, or they just have that much stuff around. But the swap meet thing is, there's going to be a lot of gray hairs at the swap meets and the car show, so take that as you will. Great time. Go check out Iola. Go check out the showdown at Sanford Field. What else? What else? I don't know. They bring a hat, great big straw hat like I have, so that you can, it's like air conditioning, keeps the sun off you. All right, I gotta go get my dog. Gotta go say hi to my parents. We'll see how we get from there, or where we go. Where we go. I need to stop talking. I need some coffee. I need some sleep. I need to move the UTV out of the way. And we're gonna jump in this hot rod with AC, and we're gonna cruise about 100 miles round trip and get the Duff. Oh, LS's, overdrives, air conditioning. So good. Yeah. Duff. Marking your territory? He missed me. We got the pets in, don't worry. Come here. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Were you a good boy? Did you behave? Are you welcome back, or did you upset the old man? And then there's Poppy, who hates people. Not hates people, just doesn't care to be petted. The terrorists, we call them when they're together. All right, let's give the parents their gifts and get back to work. No time to hang out at the lake and diddle around. We got the prices on these things, but the old man can know that I spent my inheritance on them. Get out of mom's flower bed. Here you go, thanks for taking care of the dog. Couldn't get you a boat prop, so we got you an airplane prop. You got one of them yet?
No, I don't. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know what it was on. It's pretty small. Too small for an airplane, I think, but probably off a fan or something.
Steering wheel.
I presume off a boat, yeah.
I'm gonna find a place to put them.
You're running out of boat prop storage.
Well, they're kind of in the way once in a while, so.
Better put them up higher. You can tell who his favorite is, and then mine are just mounted temporary. What a deal.
Well, I didn't want to stick them on there and not have them where they should be.
Buick's got an oil leak, so we got to put a oil sending unit on it.
Well, I went to get one yesterday. I called out and told him what it was for. He said, yep, I got one. Well, he has. And I didn't have that one out yet because I didn't have the socket. Now I got the socket.
Different connector?
Yes. Threads are the same, but 3-pin versus 1.
Well, Adam screwed up. Well, maybe not. There's probably different ones. Maybe I got the wrong one in there.
Did you change this?
I don't remember. I've worked on a lot of cars in the last year.
Well, it had red Loctite on there, and the son of it was tight. I used a 3/4 or a 1/2-inch breaker bar to get it loose.
Did you gum up the threads afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, that one's... There ain't much to it, seems...
Well, when I took the connector out of there and started the engine, it just shot out of there. No wonder there was oil leaking on the exhaust. I thought I just had them tires put on. I was on my way home. Happened just north of.
We got some, I think it was what, 215/70s? Now we got 235/75s?
235/70.
Oh, so we got a little more tire on there now. It's been racking up the miles. Oh, I get to take the old tires back. What do you think, Duff? We got to pull a Jeep engine out one day and modify it to put a little 300 Buick in here. Sitting right where we parked it about a year ago. Imagine that. You ready to go home? Go back to work? Get some birds. Go for some rides? Go for a ride? Oh, you like rides, don't you? Yeah. Yeah. Well, as wonderful as it would be to dilly-dally around the lake for the afternoon, unfortunately, we got things to do. So here we go. Speaking of turtles, look at this cool one I made for my mom. This is off of like a 64 to 66 Chevy C5 LCF C5. It's like a cover, doghouse cover for the transmission, and those are some flex plate pieces off a small block for feet, and a couple of rocker arms for a head, and then just a chunk of something for a tail. Pretty proud of my artsy-fartsy crafts there. But good luck ever finding another one of those. Like I said, 60 to 66 Chevy, low cab forward, doghouse cover. Pretty odd cover. Somebody's probably screaming, I need one of those. All right, back at it. See you later, Poppy. You want me to pet you? No, he doesn't like being pet. Do you want me to pet you? No? You want to go for an RIDE? Yep. Mom said he's been lonely for me. But he doesn't watch me on the TV when Dad's watching me on the YouTube. Load up, let's go. We got some extra Suburban wheels, the Suburban back seat, the old tires off of the Buick, some shooting tables, because apparently Dad didn't need two, so we'll have to go do some shooting one day. Should we go do some shooting, Duff? Yeah. We'll definitely do some shooting in all the spare time we don't have. Chin and Mojo were nice enough while I was gone. Gwinner had their Gwinner days. They had Gas It to Gwinner, presented by Bobbin' Around Farms on the 6th, Thursday. So they had 71 entries. Hopefully we can participate in that next year. Probably not. I think we need a fuel pressure regulator. 832 miles on this hog. What to be another 50 more on it. Did you miss the old cowboy Cadillac? He says, I just miss going on rides. Well, made her home. It's windy outside, so we're filming in the garage. Got to unload cowboy Cadillac at some point, but right now we're gonna jump in the old tow pig and go fetch up a Ford that the Mopar man bad had abandoned last night. Oh, we stopped at the Creamy in Britain for ice cream because I'm fat and I like ice cream. You ready to go, Duff? Where are you hiding at? You digging a hole over there? You want to unload that? No? Okay. Look at these gems. A Metro with a stack, tow mirrors and horns. A little Jeep, some wide tires, panel van. All right, let's get the old booger loaded up. All right, we just got to tie old Greenie down here. I'm ready to go. Look at the interior in this thing. He patched floors this winter and painted the dash, and I think he fixed some rust above the windshield. Did her all up real nice. Left the gun rack. So professional. And then he puts black floor mats in. Come on, Mopar Madman. Get some green floor mats. Not a bad old rig. I think the wheels and tires really make it. What a nice guy that put those things on there for him. All right, tire down, get back on the road. We got things to see and people to do. Old mini dog just hanging out by the street, waiting for us to come by so she can bite me. Oh, hey, look what this guy's doing. Apparently a tornado came through here as well. Oh, you gonna go say hi to the wiener dog? I guess tornadoes don't only happen in Oklahoma. Tech tip of the day. Daisy, strap your shed down to your trailer before taking it on the highway, right?
Always strap it down.
Hey, that's a nice shirt. Where'd you get that? I mean, it's a prototype.
To be released.
Look at that fancy toolbox. Dang. Daisy, relax. We're at an 11. We need to be at like a 4. Kind of like mini there. Daisy me rolling.
Come here.
What's going on here? Just hanging out with your Cyclops?
Yeah, it's hidden.
It's hidden. That's underglow, I believe the kids call it these days.
Yeah, I tightened up the spindle nut. It was like one cog off.
Fix the wheel bearing, tighten the nut. Psycho!
No, it's pretty good. Easy
Even put a new cotter pin in it?
I broke the tip off, so I mean, might as well.
Just the tip? Sweet. Alrighty. Well, this video has been a complete disaster and all over the place, and that's where we're gonna wrap it. Watching Chin.
Oil's already changed even. You don't even need to watch me do that.
Oh, we missed out on an oil change. Yeah, that's too bad. All right, thanks for watching. Check out the merch, mortske.com. We're on the Patreon and the Instagram and the Facebook. We're all over. We're not on MySpace yet, but we're working on it. All right, check out the other videos. Remember, it doesn't matter to get it done as long as you're having fun. Wheel bearings, all of the fun.
That wasn't too bad.
And puppies. And hauling crappy old Fords and swap meets. And then there's poor Harv Dog here, just collecting parts on top of it. Oh,
Sad, huh?
good thing we put those fancy tires on it so they can just rot away in your garage.
They look really cool though.
You're right, they do look good. I can't believe I forgot the batteries. I mean, I can, because I'm an idiot.